glancing with shy smiles. Translation purport by His Divine Grace, Abhay Charanarvind Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Jai Srila Prabhupada. Translation. Out of a loving desire to see the Lord, the royal ladies of the Kurus got up on the top of palace and smiling with affection and shyness, they showered flowers upon the Lord. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. Shyness is a particular extra-natural beauty of a fair sex, and it commands respect from opposite sex. This custom was observed even during the days of Mahabharata, that is more than 5,000 years ago. It is only the less intelligent persons not well versed in the history of the world who say the observance of the separation of female from male is an introduction of the Mohammedan period in India. This incident from the Mahabharata period proves definitely that the ladies of palace observed strict parda, stricted association with men. And instead of coming down in the open air where Lord Krishna and others were assembled, the ladies of the palace went up on the top of the palace. From there paid their respect to Lord Krishna by showers of flowers. It is definitely stated here that the ladies were smiling there on the top of the palace, checked by shyness. This shyness is a gift of nature to the fair sex, and it enhances their beauty and prestige, even if they are of a less important family or even if they are less attractive. We have practical experience of this fact. A sweeper woman commanded the respect of many respectable gentlemen simply by manifesting a lady's shyness. Half-naked ladies in the street do not command any respect, but a sweeper's wife commands respect from all. Human civilization, as convinced by the sages of India, is to help one free from the clutches of illusion. This material beauty of a woman is an illusion, because actually the body is made of earth, water, fire, air, etc. But because there is an association of the living spark with the matter, it appears to be beautiful. No one is attracted by an earthen doll, even if it is most perfected, prepared to attract the attention of the others. The dead body has no beauty because no one will accept the dead body of a so-called beautiful woman. Therefore, the conclusion is that the spiritual spark is beautiful. And because of soul's beauty, one is attracted by the beauty of the outward body. The Vedic wisdom, therefore, forbids us to be attracted by the false beauty. But because we are now in the darkness of ignorance, the Vedic civilization allows very restricted mixing of man, woman, and man. They say that the woman is considered to be fire and man is considered to be the butter. The butter must melt in the association with fire, and therefore they may be brought together only when it is necessary. And shyness is a check to the unrestricted mixing. It is nature's gift, and it must be utilized. Namaum Vishnupadaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimati Bhaktivedanta Swaminiti Namni Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Prachani Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarani Om Ajnana Timirdasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurumita Mena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namah Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamaham Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Utapadikam Shri Guruna Vaishnavam Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanamitam Tam Sajiv Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Saitam Krishtaitannya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahaganita Shri Vishakhanamitamscha Namo Mahavadanya Krishna Pradayate Krishna Krishna Chaitanya Namni Gurattvashe Nama Panchatattvatmakam Krishnam Bhakta Rupa Survakam Bhakta Vataram Bhaktakam Namami Bhakta Shaktikam Vancha Kalpatarubhascha Kripa Sindhu Vevacha Patitana Pavani Vaishnavibhyo Namo He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Deen Bandhu Jagatpate Gopesh Gopikant Radha Kanta Namastute Tapta Kanchan Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishbhanu Sudha Devi Pranamami Hari Priya Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityanand Sri Advaita Gadadhar Srivashadi Gaur Bhakta Vrind Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare. Hey, Hare Krishna. So one more time the verse. Prasada Shikhirarudha Kurunaryo Didrakshaya Vavrashu Kusumi Krishnam Prema Vrida Smitekshana. So this is, we are going through this chapter. There we are discussing about that Lord Krishna is leaving the Hastinapur, and later Lord Krishna will going to enter into Dwarka. So while he was leaving the Hastinapur, mostly everyone was like a devotee of the Lord there. They were all very eagerly giving farewell to Lord Krishna. And the whole city came there to give farewell to Lord Krishna. They were giving all the Kuru dynasty, especially all the Pandavas and even Dhritarashtra, and everyone was there to give farewell to Lord Krishna. So, but all the ladies here in this particular verse, it is mentioned that in the city, the lot of houses were there, like a lot of houses were there. So it is common culture in India. I don't know, like about here, even if if there is any procession going on, people go there on the roof and they observe from there. And generally, I remember when I was like a kid there. So if there is any marriage procession is going on, if there is any kind of any kind of big procession is going on, we used to go to our neighbor's roof or somewhere, like we go there and from there we observe, So here, like we are saying, like because they have in the city, they have big houses. So when Krishna was passing through the city, everyone was well, singing nicely and welcome, like giving so much love for Krishna. So all the ladies there, they, because the whole city, whole street was crowded. There were so many people were there. So all the ladies from the houses, they all went to the roofs. They all went to the top of their houses, and then from there they were showering the flowers. So here it's mentioned that Prasada is a palace, Shekhira on the roof, Arudha, they all went to the roof. Here in Philadelphia, we don't see the roofs because of the snow and other things. Our roofs are, you really can't go. Some, like probably now in Philadelphia city, you might have some houses where you can go on the roof, but especially like here outside, you really can't go in the roof, right? So, but it's a common practice in India. Like you can, they generally in the summertime, we used to go on the roof and sleep there. Because there is a lot of in a summertime, like it's like quite hot in the inside. So because there was no air conditioner, I'm talking about olden days. Nowadays is okay, but there's no air conditioner. People used to go and sit in the roof, and then they used to sleep there. So there, all the ladies went on the roof of the palaces, and after when they were seeing Krishna, they were throwing the flowers from there, giving and in the form of flowers, they were showing their affection for the love, their affection and love for Krishna. And the last line here in this verse, he says, Vridha Smita Ikshanai. So they were glancing the Lord with shy smiles. So they were smiling, but not laughing. There's a difference between smiling and laughing. Like when you laugh, your teeth are open, right? You basically laugh loudly, so here, it is mentioned that even though they were there, they are exchanging love with Krishna with very shy smile. They were smiling, and all Krishna is all watching. Krishna is all Krishna has millions of eyes. Krishna can see everyone. We see Lord Jagannath when he comes on the street and the chariot, his eyes are like quite wide, watching everyone. Similarly, Lord, watching everyone. So they were all exchanging love with Krishna, with shyness. They were watching Krishna with very shyness. So This is the way they were basically giving a respect to Krishna. And here in the purport, Srila Prabhupada brought up two very important points. So we'll discuss in there two paragraphs, and both of them are like very, very important. So let's discuss the first paragraph. So in the first paragraph, Srila Prabhupada describe about shyness. What is shyness is? So Srila says that shyness is a particular extra natural beauty of a fair sex. Extra natural beauty. Srila Prabhupada says extra natural beauty of a fair sex. So means when they perform shyness, automatically the other people, they automatically give respects. So here Prabhupada says that like shyness is a particular extra natural beauty of a fair sex, and it commands respect from opposite sex. So when this happens, then automatically the other people will ready to give the respects, because that is the way the Vedic system is. And Srila Prabhupada, like many people like in like might be saying in India that because in Islamic culture they have like this what do you call like this burqa or whatever, like hijab and other kind of stuff. The variety of like things which basically making the covering the women's. So many people think that is basically introduction by the Mohammedans in India. Shilva say that this is what like many people think that like that. But Shilva was mentioning here this incident what we are seeing in Srimad Bhagavatam or in Mahabharata. So this is that like even ladies like they were not really going in public where so many men were gathered in and without covering their heads. So here Prabhupada says that they like this incident from Mahabharata period proves definitely that the ladies of the palace observed strict parda. This parda is a like a Hindi word actually, like or like, so parda means covering your head and sometime like some part of your face. So strict parda, like restricted association with women, and instead of coming down in the open air where Lord Krishna and others were assembled, the ladies of the palace went up on the top of the palace, and from there they paid the respect to Lord Krishna by showers of flowers. So this is a way of respecting the Lord Krishna or offering the prayers, like or offering the obeisances.
Making shoes here?
Or offering the obeisances like.
Oh, but yeah, I see that put it there. I saw it with mine.
Somebody has to mute the.
No, it just.
Goloka Mataji, Golokananda Priya Mataji. Okay, thank you. So, so ladies were smiling, but their smile is also checked by shyness. That's what Prabhupada says, that even though they were offering obeisances from the very high, on the roofs, Lord Krishna is exchanging, but they're smiling also with the shyness. And this is what Prabhupada said. This shyness is a nature of is a gift of the nature to the fair sex, and it enhances their beauty and prestige. And even if they are from the less important family, and even if they are less attractive, there are two things Prabhupada say that here. Like even they are from a less important family, means they might not be a higher caste, like probably Brahmanas or Kshatriyas, maybe like from the Shudras or some other caste. So even they are from the less important family, and even if they are less attractive, means they are not really externally beautiful, like externally very makeup and just to enhance their beauty, they might not be that, but still the demands like when the woman does that, it basically commands respect. So and then Prabhupada give example here. A sweeper woman commanded the respect of many respectable gentlemen simply by manifesting lady shyness. And then Prabhupada mentioned about this, like half naked lady in the street do not command any respect, but a shy sweeper's wife commands respect from all. So here Prabhupada is comparing like two different types of dressing that woman does. Is one is like we see like nowadays, like summertime you will see a lot of things right here. It's like As soon as summer comes, you see like all these things all happen on this. Especially you go on a beach, you just forget about like So those kind of things like so they do not command respects. Like Prabhupada said that like they do not command respect. But anyone who is doing covering their cover at least keep distance from the association of men. So there they actually command the respects. Then next move to the second paragraph. There Prabhupada mentioned about that the beauty, like especially in the second paragraph, Srila Prabhupada mentioned about that the world is basically like many people are attracted by the woman's beauty, and Prabhupada said that that beauty is not because of the body, it is because of the soul. That's a main purpose of the second paragraph. So we'll discuss that. Prabhupada says human civilization as conceived by the sages of India is to help one free from the clutches of illusion. So in the Vedic system, like here we mentioned that like how the goal of human life is basically to get out free from these clutches of illusion. And what is the illusion? Here Prabhupada mentioned this that this material beauty of woman. In the second line, Prabhupada says that the material beauty of woman is an illusion. So if you see that this material beauty of a woman is basically like like if you see in a cosmetic industry or advertising industry or any kind of this movies or TVs or all these kind of things, they're all based on the material beauty of the woman. Actually, they are all basically exposing this, and they are trying to like get money out of that, right? So and here Shilwa mentioned this material beauty of woman is an illusion because actually the body is made up of earth, fire, air, ether, water. But because there is association of living spark with matter, it appears to be beautiful. So this body, if you see from Bhagavad Gita, also Krishna says that Bhumi raponolo vayu khambana buddhirevacha. So ahankarityame bhinna prakriti ashtada. This body, this material energy is made up of eightfold energies, and out of that, we have 5 elements in our gross body and 3 elements in our subtle body. So these 5 elements which made up our gross body, that's not the beautiful. The beauty is basically the living spark or the soul inside. Because if somebody looks beautiful as long as living spark or the soul is inside there, as soon as the soul leave the body, the body start deteriorating. Within few minutes, we'll see the body start decaying, and within few hours or something, it starts smelling. And then later it's become like as soon as the living spark or as soon as the soul leave the body, nobody want to touch that body also. The body is beautiful as long as there is a soul inside. As soon as the soul, as long as soul is there, the body looks beautiful. And that too also only in young age. Like, the body when become old, it doesn't look like that attractive. But only at the certain point of time in the duration of the body, it looks little attractive. And that too not because that body is attractive. It is because the soul is attractive. That's what Prabhupada has mentioned here. No one is attracted by earthen doll. So if somebody makes a doll out of mud or something like that, so people will not get attracted by that, because a doll is a doll. Like, you just put it, like some kids might play with that. We have seen that small kids, they always keep doll with them, right? They always, like, sometimes they say, this is my Barbie, this is my whatever. They just keep some dolls with them. But people are not attracted by that, because there's no living spark in that. So no one is attracted by an earthen doll, even if it's most perfectly prepared to attract the attention of others. Even if it's made so wonderful, but no one get attracted by the beauty of that earthen doll, because they know this is earthen, like this is just a statue. There's nothing in that, right? The dead body has no beauty because no one will accept dead body of a so-called beautiful woman. So here Prabhupada like mentioned very important point is, suppose if we see somebody is a very beautiful woman, okay. So if that woman die, because of some reason. Even though body is there and body is beautiful, but nobody want to touch it. Rather, they will say, okay, take money and take it from here. If somebody dies and you say, hey, you like this woman, this is so beautiful, now she's died, I will give you a body, give me the money. They will say, no, I will give you money, take this body from here. I don't want the body. You know, just few minutes ago, when the person is alive, it look beautiful. But the moment the person the soul leaves the body, that body become untouchable. Nobody want to touch that body. So is the beauty is in the body or in the soul? It's a very logical question, and that Prabhupada mentioned here. See, this is the nobody want to accept dead body of a so-called beautiful woman. Nobody want to accept. They might bury that body somewhere. People say that, oh, these somebody bury the body of somebody into the ground, but nobody want to touch it. Nobody want to glorify like the dead body, right? Therefore, the conclusion is, Prabhupada says, therefore, the conclusion is that on that basis, on that logic, Prabhupada says that the spirit spark is beautiful. So the soul is the real beauty. The soul is a real beauty, and because of the soul's beauty, one is attracted by the outward beauty of the outward body. Because the soul is beautiful, the soul's beauty reflects in the body, outwardly, manifest in the body in the form of consciousness. And when that consciousness is manifested, that attracts the people, not the material thing. Because we as a soul has a consciousness, and that reflected in the body, and that because of that body looks bright and beautiful, attractive. Otherwise, you can make the body out of the mud and you can make the statue or mix anything, but that's nobody get attracted by that. So here, Srila Prabhupada further says that the Vedic wisdom therefore forbids us to attract by false beauty. So our Vedic system, like Vedas says that don't get attracted by this false beauty. So real beauty and false beauty, there are two things. Real beauty is the soul. The false beauty is the outward things, which is basically the matter. So we should not get attracted by the matter. But because Prabhupada says that, but because we are now in the darkness of ignorance, the Vedic civilization allows us very restricted mixing of woman and man. Now, so here in the society, like because like we are in now in the darkness of ignorance, this material world, we are in tamoguna. Like we are basically like take birth in the material world where we are in tamoguna. So or ignorance. So Vedic system says that we should have a etiquette or a rules that we should not have free mixing or free mixing of men and women. So here Prabhupada says very restricted mixing of women and men. They say that woman is considered to be fire and man is considered to be butter. Therefore, the butter must melt in association with fire, and therefore they may be brought together only when it is necessary. So here, what Prabhupada mentioned is that only men and women come together only at the time of marriage, or after the marriage also in a restricted way. Because free mixing will basically going to degrade the human society. Free mixing of men and women will degrade the human society and the Vedic system, because we are already in ignorance. See, if we are all aware of, even though we are all aware that we are not the body, but we are the soul, but still it's very difficult to like overcome this impulse, of mixing with the opposite sex. So Vedic system Vedic system says that we should do a restricted mixing of men and women, especially only at the time of marriage only. And Prabhupada says when it is necessary, only when it's necessary. Otherwise, like it will be like a very degrading position for the human society. And the last line Prabhupada says that, and shyness is checked to unrestricted mixing. So means like shyness, especially this in the previous paragraph we discussed about the shyness of the which is the beauty of the woman. It is basically a check for this unrestricted mixing. And Prabhas, like mentioned there, is that it is nature's gift and it must be utilized. It is given to the law. It is given to the human society, and it should be recognized, because in animal society it is not there. In animal society, nobody like follow these rules and regulation. It is only for the human society where it's basically this is being practiced. So it is like it is for all of us, like, especially like in the Vedic system, it's being followed. And if you see in the history of the world, like whenever there is like unrestricted mixing of men and women, that creates so much problem in the society. And nowadays, in especially in this Telugu, so much things are going on, and we see so many problems are coming in today's society because of this. So many crime is happening because of this no control on this kind of thing. So and that's degrading from our spiritual life. So these are the 2 points here, like Srila Prabhupada mentioned in this purport. Anyone have any comments or questions? Probably, I think, like, uh, like especially like the first section and the second section. Like if anyone have any comment on the topic of shyness, or on the topic of this false beauty and the real beauty.
Yeah, I have something. I know this is the principle of a woman, but it's in Vedic time. But nowadays in Kali Yuga, oh, so many women has to go out and work, and provide for the family, and they have no option. They have to mix with opposite sex. Where's the question of shyness? So you have to deal with the world. And nowadays, that was Vedic system. Women who had never go out and have to earn. So what
Yes.
will you say about it?
No, you already said. You already answered that this is the situation. So main thing is that we should basically try not to go in that situation. But I would say, Mataji, like my point is that there are still, I know like many women go out and work, but there are still many women who don't go out and work. So they are like that only. So it's up to everybody's personal choice. Like I would say, it's not that everyone has to go out. Like I even seen in Philadelphia in our temple, in our congregation, many Matajis are still at home, and many Mataji work out. Many Mataji has to go out and do it. Many Mataji has to basically stay. So it's everybody's it is in different scenario. I can We can compare that everyone is equal. Like everyone have different scenarios. So, but again, we should. This is a principle given in our scriptures, and the more we follow, the more we'll get benefit. The less we follow, chances of falling down is more. So it's up to person, but the principle is given, general principle is given for the society. If everyone follow this, then we're really wonderful. We are in the Vedic society. But as you said, this is Kali Yuga. This is modern society. It is very difficult. So whoever can control themselves, whoever can do it, they are good. But people, sometimes situation don't allow us to do that. So people has to go out and do this. But still, like if we know that idea in our consciousness, this is the way we have to do it. So they should be restricted. It's not that like, okay, now we really cannot practice Vedic culture, so let's go out and do whatever we want. So but at least we should have at least knowledge, like this is what we have to be aware of. At least the education should be there. As long as education is there, at least even somebody has to do, because there is no other choice. If they have to do it, go out and work in a like an environment where there is a like a mixing of different men. So then we have to at least aware of that, and try very less, bare minimum involvement, not too much. That's my, I would say. But again, like there's always an option.
Yeah, it's dependent on time and place and circumstances
Yes.
also. And also, I'm just thinking, even our movement, when Prabhupada will send all the ladies, to distribute books, and distributing books to everyone, like we have to approach men and women and everyone. So the devotees, they cannot just cover their head and and be chaste and in order to approach non-devotees men,
No,
in their
actually,
heart they have to be chaste, but apparently, like, they shouldn't, they should do the needful, like you should go out, you have to approach everyone. You don't approach only women won't approach only women. You have to. So Prabhupada, and he said all these women are born in the woman, just to attract people to come to Krishna consciousness.
no, my point is that, like, with book distribution and on preaching,
Hmm.
definitely, like, going out is not a problem. But when you go in a group, it's not a problem. My point is that when you go in a group, like, I think what Prabhupada says, that is like going, like when you are mixing in with certain different mindset, when you are mixing, when you're going in a public with the consciousness of preaching, and when you are distributing Krishna's mercy, then your consciousness is different. But when you mix with the, like, opposite sex with a different consciousness, then that's degrading. That's my point. Is like because yes, like in our society, we really can't say that women to sit in the house and then all men will go out. It's not possible. This is it's not going to work it out anyway. But again, the point is that the consciousness, like what consciousness you are basically going. Like, suppose if you're going in like a in outside, and then you say, okay, we are just going to have a party. Right? So that's a different thing when you're going for a Rath Yatra. See, we see in Rath Yatra many Matajis like go out preaching and we are dancing on street. Is that violating this rule? No, because we are dancing for Krishna. We are dancing for Krishna. So that doesn't violate. So point is that, like, what is our consciousness? Is that, I think, also need to be factored in. All right. So we have
Sometimes
few.
devotee take it out of context, they try just to apply it like immature devotees. So,
Right.
we have to know how to don't take things directly out of context and just try to say, okay, Prabhupada say you have to be shy, you have to cover, you have to stay away. We can't, it's not like practical.
Yeah, that definitely what I say. We have to really see what is conducive to our Krishna consciousness. Whatever goes in our favor of Krishna consciousness, we have to do. Whatever goes against, we should reject. That's the point.
Thank you, Prabhu.
Thank you, Mataji. Yeah, so we have hand from Kalpesh Prabhu and Sonia Mataji. You have any question or comment?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Yes, Mataji.
Yeah, Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you for bringing up points and for giving discourse today. I appreciate a lot. Yeah. First of all, I think in the modern context of highlighting the shyness, by nature, there are feminine qualities which we see. It is not looking at the, like, generally the woman's, right, in general, like the feminine part of it, the qualities. It should not look like a bold thing. Modesty and pity and politeness, humbleness kind of thing, that comes into the shyness, in my view. So it's also like I see it like this way too, that working in the close environment, but if you are able to maintain that modesty, pittiness, politeness, that factor, that helps for the shyness. But otherwise, do you have any points on like the differences between the masculine and feminine qualities? Like what really those qualities are from the scripture injunction? Like I saw it this way, because if women starts becoming like a bold and all, they lose their natural gift, which is what we see the degradation right now in the society, when that emotional and sentiments are like they have more compared to the, like I would say that way, Because in my observation, I'm seeing it that way. But you can let me know if that is the right way of looking at it, or not. Because when it becomes like a more bold and not being modest, that's where you start losing that shyness and like a woman factor. Is that something right? Or you have any particular points on feminine or masculine?
Well, my point is that, see, all of us, like all the living entity, like whether man is a woman or a child or an old age person, anyone, all of us has some strength and some weaknesses, like from quality wise, right? So by nature, Krishna has given us some qualities. Sometimes we see some women are very strong, some women are not, right? Vindavali Mataji, you might have seen that, like you might have seen, like some women are very strong in their opinion, and some women are very strong in like management. Some women are very strong at house. you know like some women might not be good at out, but they are very very strong at house. Similarly, some men are very good in management, some men are very good in like in some other way. And I have seen some men are very good in cooking also, like they do the household work very nicely, but they don't do outside work very nicely. So everyone has their own qualities. Like, I'm not saying that particular we need to judge it, but the role is that what Krishna consciousness is that whatever quality you have, whichever strength you have, you use that in Krishna's service. Like if somebody have some quality, like as you say, like management, or somebody have like some quality in household work, somebody has quality in something else. So everyone have their some own strength, and they should be used. This feminine quality and masculine quality, yes, they are nature's gift. Somebody have something in major, sometimes we see mostly men have this quality, or women have this quality, or men are strong in this area, women are strong in this area. So which is nice. So my Guru Maharaj used to give me one example. He said that if in a family you have 5 children, hmm, a mother can take care of 5 children very nicely. She can raise 5 children very nicely, but a man cannot even raise one child very nicely. He doesn't have that quality.
That is so true. That is what I was coming to actually.
Yeah. So
Because
if woman has such a nice quality that even she can raise 5 children, she can feed them, she can train them, she can do that very nicely because she has that quality. But if for a man, even to raise one child become very challenging. That my Guru Maharaj used to say that. So everyone have their own qualities, and we should use those qualities in Krishna's service. So we have to identify where we are strong, and we have to basically use that quality in that area. So if somebody is very strong and good in cooking, like say maybe Mataji, maybe Prabhuji, doesn't matter. It is not, doesn't matter. But we should use that in Krishna's service. Is that's the point? It's not that okay, Prabhuji cannot cook, only Mataji should cook. That's not the way. If Mataji can do some good book distribution, we should take them for book distribution, because that's the way. Like it's not that, like if it's not that they have to only stay in the house and cook, not to preach outside. Prabhupada never says that. Prabhupada says that go out and preach. This is the moment. So yes, some qualities we have, but again we have to see like what we can use in Krishna's service. So whichever we are strong, we should use. It's not that we need to like cultivate new quality. If woman has to cultivate man quality, and man has to cultivate woman's quality to basically compete and those kind of things. Because in today's society, if you see in offices, there's competition. Like competition is going on. Like man is like trying to become boss, and women are trying to become boss, and then there is a competition going on. One is a manager, the another want to become manager, and then there is a so much sexual harassment is going on in the society. Every 3 months we have to do a course in our office, 3 to 6 months, sexual harassment. Because they want to take advantage of situation. Because if man is your boss, then they can take advantage of a situation. If the woman is your boss, they can take advantage, or they are colleagues. So these kind of situation happen. But again, like in Vedic system or in Krishna consciousness, our point is that we should use whatever quality we have, and especially certain qualities that women have, certain qualities that men have, and whichever they are strong, they should use in Krishna service. That's my point.
Yeah, but with the natural, like see, I see it this way. Um, God choose woman to be the mother. right? So there is some natural thing which they should be not losing it. That is what the shyness is, glory. I mean, that is the beauty of that woman. If they
Yes.
start losing that beauty, I mean, that modesty, that, I mean, in the material world, they can work, they can become boss, they can do all this. But that quality should not go away. That was my
Yes. I
highlight
agree.
to that modesty. Keeping in that modesty, they can success in any endeavors in the life where they touch it. So even in the devotional service, you can do, like, go in the group, as you rightly pointed out, the good point, like how you can go with. So yeah, I see it that way. But because there is a reason why they are given the toughest job, which is to keep the child in the womb for 9 months. Men's are not given that privilege. So that was like my, like if there were any additional qualities where we can refer to, I mean, yeah.
No, definitely. Like, so, yes, like, but again, the point is that, like, that modesty and shyness and all, if you go out and you can keep it, but if you more and more go out in other areas, like becoming like public and all, how long you can keep that? It's become challenging. So in order to keep that, you need to follow certain rules and regulations also. So, but again, like, yes, they need to preserve that. This is the nature's gift. If you preserve it, then you will enjoy it, or you will have like get
Yep.
respect. If you don't preserve it, then you will lose it. So
Yeah.
that's the
True.
point, is that. Sure.
True.
Thank you, Prabhu. Yes, Vinyavali
Thank
Mataji,
you.
you have
Thank you.
some point. We want to hear from you. This is like Mataji's, guidance we need on this.
Not many people hear from old people. Okay.
No, Mataji.
Whatever they say.
We would like to hear from you.
No, but shyness is one thing. If you keep your hand open, nobody bothers like that. If you put something in your hand, wrist like this, oh, guess what I have? Then you are curious about it. What is that she had in her? Is, she put it in there, or somebody like they want to be curious and they want to see that. That is how the shyness is, and shyness is a gift from God for a lady, and then she has to keep it. But now modern world, and if both are not working, it won't work. That house, you had to maintain the house because of this cost of living. They had to work, but at the same time, they had to keep their shyness and other things. I also worked 10 years. I never, no, see, that doesn't mean that I just, had half dressed and everything. I had to work like that. That is our culture, and you had to show your culture and you had to tell them. I used to go with my daughter and everything to my work, and they used to say dotted lady. They used to call me dotted lady.
Mhm.
So that's how they used to treat me. But still, what I'm saying is, and we have to work, we have to maintain the house, and we have to raise the children. And the way you're raising the children, you need to tell them this is not appropriate. You need to be quite well dressed, not that half dressed like that. It is not necessary that you have to show everything. But keep your respect like that. This is our culture. This is the cultural way of living like that. If modern people, if they do like that, they have to. This younger generation, they do that. We cannot blame them because the association is like that for them. We cannot blame them. But it is very unfortunate. And unfortunately, if ladies are, it doesn't mean some people are sitting at home, they're not working. If they are working only, they're exposed. It's not the thing. If they are at home also, they might be exposed without knowing. Some lot of people, they are there. From home also, they are not very good at other feelings also. We cannot say like that. But working is must, and they had to work, but properly, and raise your kids properly, well dressed, and train your kids from the childhood that they need to be like this. Though we are in a different culture of country, but we need to keep our own restrictions. Then only it will be beauty. Beauty is what? This is what here says here, Sri Prabhupada is saying. This shyness is a gift of a nature of the fair sex. That's a gift for a lady. And then as long as she keeps that shyness only, she will be loved from others, But she needs to keep that. That is very hard in this society. I know that. Very hard. This modern society, it's not possible. But still, I prefer as an older lady, I tell everybody, younger generation, that, train your kids like that, well dressed, and train your kids that, shyness is a main thing for a gift, a lady, girl. And girl makes a lot of things, and she has to have patience. Like you're saying, raising 5 kids, a lady can do, a man cannot do. He can do the job. He can be a manager, he can be a director, he can do the job and do something. That cannot think, that those are the things. Lady has weakness there, if she's a manager, director, sometimes somebody can misuse that. So those are the things that my advice, that's all. But I don't know how many people will like this. Dressing and not dressing up nicely. They will say, oh, you want me to have 9-yard sari and then go to work? A lot of people, they tease me like that. Okay, you don't want to, just dress yourself. That is what the nature is telling us. And since long time, people are saying this. But only thing is, olden days, they used to treat ladies, you don't know anything, sit at home, and they used to dominate. But now, girls are not listening to that domination. They say, we are equal, we will work, we can work, we can show you. But at the same time, tell them that you can go to work, you can be independent, but just try, some restrictions are there for girls, not for men. Girls, they have some restrictions. So they need to follow. As long as they follow, they can work, they can be bold, they can do anything. They are bold. Lot of things they had to be bold. That's my thing. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mataji.
It's a serious topic.
Yes.
And
Especially
everybody has their own views, but that's how. As I told you, it's a serious and then very sensitive topic.
yes,
can
Mataji.
say.
Because again, especially in the present context, like a Vedic civilization, the present context is really like you need really lot of good understanding of things to basically come to that conclusion.
Another thing is, if you raise your children that nicely, they're sober and then well dressed like that, some people may tease them too.
Yes.
The society is like that. Oh, you are like this, and no, that's not the way to live in this society. So association makes a lot of difference.
Yes, Mataji. Association is a key. Thank you, Mataji. And we
Thank
have
you.
hand raised from Acharya Prabhu. Would you like to comment, Prabhu, on this topic?
Yes, Hare Krishna, thank you. It's worth remembering that these different ideas, like women need to be protected, women are of this mentality, women have to be chaste, women have to be protected, has been in the history of ISKCON, in the history of India, in actually almost every culture in the world. This idea has been there in some way, and it's been used as an excuse for oppressing and harming women, and a lot of misogyny and a lot of hatred and even a lot of physical violence has come out of these kind of attitudes. So it takes a very mature person to understand this and not twist it around into some kind of anti-woman attitude, or women have to be kept in their places, which has happened in ISKCON a lot. And in India, the oppression of women is brutal. And in Islam, in Islamic cultures and longer ago in Christian cultures, this kind of oppression was there. So it takes a little intelligence, it takes a little sensitivity to understand this, I think. And how would I say? The differences between men and women, as in a general sense, as real as they may be, I'm not sure that they're actually more important or more significant than the difference from one individual to any other individual. So I'm not saying that, these ideas of chastity and proper behavior for women shouldn't be there, but it also applies to everyone. The men also, it's not that, the women have to be very covered and chaste and quiet and retiring, but the men could be big obnoxious brutes. This is not, I don't think this is a good understanding. And most of these principles of dressing properly, behaving properly, being chaste, apply to men to a large degree also. So this may be a more modern take or a politically correct take on it, but I've seen personally and in history a lot of damage come from the twisting of these ideas, and I think it's worth at least keeping that in mind when we discuss and try to implement these old cultural ideals. Hare Krishna. Thank you.
Hare Krishna. Yeah, thank you, Prabhu. Thank you. Very good point you brought up. Like I remember, like one purport Shilurva say that the perfect combination will be like if a man should be a perfect brahmachari, and then a woman should be a chaste woman. So then it's a perfect combination. So because it's not that we just only talk about here in this particular verse, because it particularly talking about the women's in Hastinapur. So Prabhupada brought that point. But again, we should always remember that it's not just the rules that doesn't apply just to women, but for the men, especially especially like Prabhupada mentioned that strict brahmacharya should be followed. And we should consider, as Chanakya Pandit says, that other than your wife, everyone is you have to consider yours as a mother. So which is very, very important. It's not just that only women should follow, not men. And I feel that because personally I have two daughters. So and when I say something to my daughters, like say do this, so that should apply to all the boys also. But if the boys' parent do not commanding that thing on them, it's become challenging for me just to enforce rule on my daughters. Yes, definitely it has to come from both the sides, and not really like try to enforce only on just one individual, because everyone have different personality, everyone have different things. So it's not just we just force only like, okay, these rules only apply to women, not to men. Yeah, because this again is the society is all everywhere, men and women is there, so everyone has to follow. But again, to find a perfect combination is very challenging, as Mataji mentioned. In this age of Kali Yuga, especially in this society, it's very, very difficult to find that perfect combination. So, but again, like as you correctly said, we have to basically not to try to force those kind of things, which basically like we have seen already impact of those, the bad side of those rules, that as we see in Islamic culture or even in Indian culture. And we have seen in even in Varnashram Dharma also, like because Varnashram Dharma is now completely polluted in India at least. So we see that drawbacks now. It's become a caste system. Now Brahmanas, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra, they are just in the namesake, and because of that, they are exploiting the lower caste people, and because of that, so many problems in the society. So when people don't understand, think properly, and then they use this and just to suppress other part of the society, this problem will come. I agree with that too. Thank you.
There's one instance where a brahmachari was complaining to Srila Prabhupada, oh, these women are here in the temple running around, dancing in kirtan or doing service, whatever. And this isn't good. They should be out because it's creating a disturbance for the brahmacharis. And Prabhupada said, if you're disturbed by this, then you're the one who should leave. You should go live in the forest.
Yes. Because it's a consciousness. Again, this point is that if your consciousness is on that side, then why you are in this society? You should not think those women as woman. Okay. Just thank you very much. So
Prabhuji, I would just like to add one more point to the Vindhyavali Devi
yes,
Mataji.
Mata.
I agree with her that in terms of restriction, but what I'm feeling is if will cultivate more faith in the scripture, we will able to understand the importance of those restrictions. I think that nowadays people do not want restriction because they don't have the right education. And I think this scripture is very helpful to change our understanding in terms of um, to understand why the things should be restricted in such a way.
But Prabhuji, what we have came across certain arguments in the past when the Sita was put to some really challenging times, and people when we talk about these things, then they say, oh, this is a mythology. Oh, this is not applied to today's context. Then I mean, there is no. I mean, when we talk to our generation people, the same generation, I mean, we feel that nobody wants to listen this. What she's saying is right, that it has to come from scripture, but that respect of the scripture is not being looked at in the same spirit way we are, because we are following the scripture. Then I mean, we are reading it, not really, um, but people don't see it that way. And mostly nowadays, the entertainment society is being promoting the same-sex marriage. If you, I mean, it's so degrading, right now. Lesbian marriage, gays marriage, and all. So
And these cell phones and TVs are spoiling also.
yeah.
They show lots of things. And kids from childhood, if they're crying, they're giving the cell phone. If they're not eating, they're giving the cell phone. And they're putting the cell phone and TV and they're eating the food. What they're eating, they don't know. So that kind of culture, we know we are reading this Bhagavatam. Which kid is reading this Bhagavatam? Nobody is reading. So this about this dress and everything, since long time it's coming. Like you're saying, Sita also he is suspected after that. She has to go and file this thing. But what I'm saying is culture is going like that. We have to be very, very careful. And how you present your kids also, very carefully you have to present your kids. Because this is not, yeah, they, like you said, older people will say, and it's in the books 5,000 years ago. Who will go back to 5,000 years ago? Go forward to 5,000 years ago, 5,000 years ahead. So if that is the case, you cannot argue with them. But we had very delicately to handle. And this shyness thing is, since a long time it's coming, it's going worse and worse now. And especially, we're not in that association here. That is the main thing. Not only here, India, everywhere is changing. Everywhere is changing. So very carefully we handle with the kids and tell them. And that's unfortunate. For elderly people, grandparents, if they say, no, you don't know anything. In your days, you did it. A long time ago. That's your generation. Another thing is they're talking about generation now. So I said generation, women is women, man is man. That is there since generations is coming. It's not changed. But still they say, no, your generation is something. We cannot do like that. So that's why best thing is even grandparents are keeping their mouth shut.
I think the whole idea what we are all, I think, coming to the point is that as long as we are well conscious about the fact, and in principle, whatever is conducive, whatever is favoring our devotional service, because ultimate point is that we are here to advance in our devotional service. Our goal is basically to become Krishna conscious, become devotee of Krishna, and try to get out from this material world. So whatever is basically helping us, we should take this even in the present context, because certain rules might not be applied because again time, place, and circumstances. Goloka Mataji like mentioned that according to time, place, and circumstances, that things might change. But the whole idea is that if we are basically well aware of how to progress in Krishna consciousness by protecting ourselves from this, these problems of the material world. Material world, there are a lot of problems. This might create another problem. So we just need to keep ourselves protected from that and just keep moving from there. That's the real
No
thing.
matter they would listen or not, I keep on telling grandkids. But they'd say your generation is something. You did it. I said,
Anyone else have any other question or comments? Time is really up now. Or maybe Shama Gauri Mataji.
Prabhupada has given a very good purport here. The shyness is a gift of nature for a lady. It's a very good thing. Oh, I don't know.
Maybe Shama Gauri Mataji, Suman Mataji would like to contribute something.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Yes, Mataji.
I just want to say that parents and the kids see how parents behave. If the parents dress nicely, it affects kids. So that's the only one point I can add in addition to other points.
Yes, that's
Yes.
also true. That's also
By
true.
setting an example.
Yeah.
At least like, because the point is that like even though like kids might not realize now, but later they will realize how my parents used to do it.
Mm.
And they will grown up, they will realize that okay, my parents used to do this way. So that's very good point.
Other
Mataji.
things they follow parents, if they treat others' parents, how they are treating relatives like that, in-laws like that. So they follow all those things.
Yes, Mataji.
We need
Shama
not
Gauri
tell
Mataji.
give any books.
Shama Gauri Mataji would like to contribute something.
Shama Gauri Mataji. Is she there?
Okay. Anyway.
Actually, no.
You are here.
Yes.
Thank you, Mataji. Okay, no problem. Thank you. Anyone else would like to say anything before we end our
sorry.
call for today?
Sorry, Rosie.
All right. So thank you very much all for joining today morning. So thank you very much for joining our this wonderful Srimad
Thank you.
Bhagavatam journey. Thank you all. Hare Krishna,
Thank you.
everyone. Vancha kalpataruscha kripa sindhuve vacha patitanam pavane vaishnave bhunuma anant kodi vaishnavvrinde ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Jai.
Thank you very much, Prabhu. Thank you very much, everyone.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Thank you.
Hare